The default hoop in art design is going to be the large oval hoop, which is the one that comes with your machine. You all may have other hoops. You may have the medium hoop, you may have purchased the small hoop, you may have purchased the mega hoop. All of those hoops are available to you. You can change this display to be the hoop that you are using. And I want to show you how to do that first, and then we're going to jump right in and open the design, because it'll make more sense what we're doing if we have a design in the screen. Okay? Actually, yeah, let me show you how to... No, what we're going to do next, I'm going to backtrack, because what happens is if I know I'm going to use the medium hoop and I change this, but then, or I'm going to use the large hoop and I change it to the large hoop. Once you open the design, whatever hoop the design was saved with, your display is going to change to that hoop. So we can play with the hoop all we want here, but it's not going to make a difference once we open the design. Okay, so we're going to not worry about that too much right now. The thing I do want to show you is that you've got tools down here. Those are the tools we'll be using to manipulate the design. And then you've also got they're tools or quick ways to get to certain items here. You have your standard Windows categories up here that also that anything you can do with these tools can also be found in the folders up there. One of the things I always tell my classes is that if you are not don't have some level of basic Windows experience, it's going to make everything you do on a computer harder. And we highly recommend, we will teach a basic Windows class here, but if you have a chance to take continuing education at one of the local high schools that they have that does Windows, basic Windows, we always recommend that, because that'll just make this a whole lot easier. What we are going to do is we are going to open a design and look at how to open a design first. Because that's probably the biggest challenge I get with people that their Windows is a little bit weak, is that I know I have a design, but I don't know how to find it. I can't find it. I have a stick, or I have a CD, or I have it on my hard drive, but I don't know how to find it. And so we're going to spend a little bit of time on that in this class, just to kind of get you over that hurdle, okay? Because once you find the design, manipulating it and sending it to your machine is the easy part. And then the other part that this class usually struggles with, okay, I found my design, I have it up, I've got it down, I don't know how to get it where I need it to stitch it. I get lost there. I'm not sure how to do that. So that's the next part we'll spend quite a bit of time on, okay? Windows has certain standards that all programs abide by. And once you understand, that what those standards are, what some of them are, working with any Windows program will become much easier. One of the standards is that if you are going to, when you open a file, you will always find that command in the file icon right here. So what I'd like you to do, before we even do that, I have a couple other instructions I have to tell you. Your mouse, first of all, the supply list required you to bring a mouse. This software is going to be much easier to work with if you have a mouse. It is very hard to get the fine motor control you need with the little touchpad. So I always recommend, if you're going to be working in any graphics program, you should use a mouse. Your mouse has two buttons. It has a left button and a right button. This software many times is I will be telling you to, if I just say click, I just mean left click. It's the standard click that you would do. But there are a lot of commands in this software that use a right click, which is the right side of your mouse. It's the other button. And if you get them mixed up, you're going to get frustrated because you're not going to be able to do certain things. The other command that we use a lot in this software is called click and drag. And a click and drag is when you depress or press the left mouse button and you leave it down, and then you move your mouse down. And generally what happens on your screen is it creates a selection box around what you're trying to do. Okay? You don't click, drag, and click again. You click and hold that left button down. The whole time you're moving your mouse, you have that button down, and then when you let go, it then sets what you've selected. Does that make sense? So when I say click or press your mouse button, if I don't say right click, we're assuming the default, which is the left click. But there are many times I will say right click. And this software has and all software, if you learn the world of right clicking, you will discover shortcuts to a lot of things that you spend a lot of time getting to. Okay? Does that make sense? All right? So you want to use a mouse. It doesn't matter if it's wireless or on a wire, but you do want to use a mouse. So when we go to the File menu, if we click on File and it drops down, we have lots of things that we can do. New, I'm not going to go through all of them, but new is if you want just a clear screen. You want to start a new design. Open is what we're after, because that's where we're going to go look for something that's already designed. And then close is if you are done with what you're doing and you want to close one and open a new one, you can just say close. Okay? So what I want all of you to do is left click or click once on open. Okay? Now, what's hard about this class is, and what's hard is that when people say, why don't you write this down and give it to me step by step so that I have it and I can read it at home? Well, this is one of those places where that's hard, because every one of you could have something different here, because it depends on where you were the last time. Your machine has history, and it knows where you opened a design the last time or where you found a design the last time. So this is where one of those Windows things that you want to become and start. This is one area where you really want to become comfortable with what you're seeing. Okay? Basically, what it did, we call these pop-up menus, and it popped up, and what it's saying to you, if you look right here, it says look in. Do you see that? And then it has a little file, and then it has a file name. Okay? What this is, and it will default, this will be the last place you opened a design from, or it may be the place I put your design when I was on your machine. This is where you have to tell it if you want to get a design off a USB stick, or you want to get a design off of a CD, or you are not in the folder where you've put the design. This is where you need to tell it where you want to look. So this would be like going to a skyscraper and looking for your doctor's office, and you've got to look on the directory to find out where that office is. Well, this is telling you the last time you were there, this is where I am, but to get to the directory to find out where we're going, we have to click this little down arrow. So I want you all to left click that down arrow. Okay? Now this is also all going to be different based on each of our computers. Okay? This is the directory of that building or a file cabinet. And this is where we're going to find what we are looking for. Okay? Does that sort of make sense? Think of it as a family tree a little bit. Okay? So your family tree, the parent is your computer, and then on your computer you have a desktop, and on the desktop you have folders. Now, if you have a DVD drive and you have something on Windows 7, the item won't show up unless it's plugged into your machine. So you should, I have something in my DVD drive, obviously, so it shows up here. Yours may or may not show up in your list because you may not have anything in yours. If I had a USB stick plugged in, I believe I do, this says USB, then that's my C. I can't see from up this close, okay? But you know, anything that you have in your computer that has files on it is going to show up in this list. So this is where if you put a CD in your machine, when you click this, that CD drive is going to be listed, and you can select that, and then you should see what's on the CD. If you have a USB stick, it will have a letter. Your hard drive is almost always C, and if you have a USB stick, it could be anything from D through J, K, L, M, N, and O, P, depending on how